All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very first race analysis podcast. My name is CRubennnn. You can also refer to me as Ruby, and I'll be your host for today and hopefully the next upcoming weeks. So, as the name implies, the aim is to analyze and discuss some interesting moments from last week's race, the championship races. And I won't be doing that alone. I will invite a guest or try to invite a guest every single week. And the aim is to, I'll ask them to clip some interesting moments. And we can just show them here and discuss a little bit, talk them over and stuff. So hopefully that'll be fun. And if you like me doing this, just leave in the comments how you liked it and just like the video so you can promote our channel a little bit. That would be highly appreciated. So for this week, I actually invited a driver who is as cool as ice, right? At least that's what his name implies. From what I heard, he really looks like a ginger teddy, and he did surprisingly well in season 2. He really bloomed under the wings of his teammate Dan, who showed him the way. And in the meantime, he became a part of Team Arc, so that's really good. He hopes to continue the good form he has shown lately in season 3 and hopes to carry his team. So you might have guessed it's ARC Chili. How is it going, Chili?
Good morning, Ruby.
Good
How are you?
morning.
Um, yeah. First things first. I thought I should apologise for my voice. I've been unwell for the past 3 days, so unfortunately, it's going this morning.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's good to be here. It's good to give my view on the race and on this first podcast. So
All right, it's a pleasure to have you, actually, Chili. Can I call you Chili? Yeah, is that all right?
yeah, I mean, it seems to have become my name in the ARC channels anyways. It got shortened from my full name, and
Yeah.
it's just sort of become my new one. So I embraced it.
Okay, that's awesome, man. Well, Chili, why I called you in this week is actually because last week you got your first GR3 podium, right? You finished in third position last
Yes,
week. Is it your
yeah.
first podium in the whole ARC championship?
In the official championships, yes.
Yeah.
The first season, I wasn't fast enough, but in the off season I've been practicing, so hopefully there'll be more to come this one.
Yeah, hopefully, man, it'll be interesting to see. Well, yeah, it was in a Citroen, nevertheless, so it's not a car I would expect on the podium. How did you feel about that podium? Was it well deserved, or you think you like got lucky and snatched the podium spot of somebody else?
I wouldn't say it was pure luck, but I wouldn't say it was outright pace. I think people are still getting to grips with the new tire wear and fuel wear regs,
Mm-hmm.
so it was just a case of I can adapt quite well, quite quickly to these new rules. So I think I just managed to um, nail the strategy, just stay out of trouble
Yeah,
and then whilst everyone fell away besides me, just took the podium.
you just took the opportunity. Of course, man. That's what you have to do. All right. So I've asked you to clip some moments that you consider to be, yeah, race defining. Let's say very interesting from your perspective. So tell me, what have you come up with?
The most race defining things I had was my entire lap one. That was a
Mm-hmm.
real make and break moment, and it almost broke the race.
Yeah.
Um, Lap two, there was a big incident I was almost caught up in. There was a couple of passes that I knew I had to make on a couple of drivers, and then the final one will be my podium winning overtake on Beckham.
Yeah, that was indeed massive. I was watching with the live streamers later on Saveloy at that moment, and that was really good actually to hear them commentate and to watch it. So I was very happy
I
for you,
mean,
man.
it's better to live it.
Yeah, I can imagine that was must have been a huge victory for you. No, all right, we'll just get into it. Maybe we'll just start. With the start. That makes sense, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you've qualified in 11th place, right? How did you feel about qualifying? Did you get everything out of the car, or?
Um, I mean, qualifying's never been my strong suit. I struggle to find that pace over one lap. It's not a consistency thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
just I'm slow. Um, so I knew that as long as I qualified in the top lobby, I would be able to use my race pace instead to get higher.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely got everything out of the car as I was the fastest on my team. So I can't really say that I, I have anything to compare myself with or get faster because
No, that's true.
I was the top. So yeah, I mean the Citroen struggles on quali pace anyways. It is definitely more of a race car than a
Yeah.
qualifying car. So hopefully I can improve as the season goes again, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. No, that's interesting. Well, like I said, you've clipped some videos. I have them here on my screen right now, and maybe I'll just start the video, and maybe you can yeah, guide us through what you were thinking, what you were doing, if that's all right for you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll just start this one now.
So yeah, on the start, I knew that the fact I was behind Willie in the Supra, so I knew I could get a better launch than him.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
realize that
massive.
Jake was also there, and Jake almost spun out and hit
Yeah.
me. So already there was almost an incident at the start of the race. I got stuck behind Crow and had to give space to Kev on the inside, as he
Mm-hmm.
was in the fast starting Aston as well. Um, and then through the S's, Kev and Crow decide to go side by side, which through here is never going
It's
to
a bad
work.
idea. Yeah.
And Kev gets on the curb and comes across and blocks my road, which allows then Contrail and Mermaid to also get past me. So
Yeah.
that beautiful start, jumping up to the seventh, I think, or sixth, got completely ruined by the fact that Kev ran wide. Not blaming him, it's
No,
first
of
lap.
course. Yeah.
It's the way you get caught up in it. But it's racing. It's the way it happens. Luckily, I didn't crash. There was no actual full-on incident, so it just meant that I had to hunker down and continue the lap, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Actually, that was an impressive start. If you see that launch, well, I'm going to show it on this off-board camera angle. The launch is massive, man. You overtook
yeah,
both Supras, and you
yeah,
have eighth position for a while, so you overtook three people. Yeah, but then, as you mentioned, that with Kevin and Crow in the S's, Kevin got back on the circuit, which kind of compromised your exit as well. You got overtaken again by, yeah, which is it, the Jaguar, I think,
yeah. It's
from
Contrail and
Contrail, yeah,
Mermaid.
and then Mermaid also overtakes you. Yeah, it's like you said that guy compromised your race a little bit because you had such a massive start, but then you have to give back two positions just because of that. Um, did you feel like you were in trouble at that moment because you have two, three fast cars in front of you, right? Jaguar, Mercedes, and Aston Martin, I think, Kevin's in. All fast cars on the straights. You think you would have troubles, let's say, overtaking them?
To be honest, Kyoto is one of those tracks that is really tricky to overtake on. Anyways, I wasn't too worried because I just knew if I stuck to my strategy,
Mm-hmm.
it would eventually play out, and I would manage to overtake them off the track.
Yeah.
Um, it would allow it would be better if I could obviously overtake them on track because I mean I'm faster, but
Mm-hmm.
was starting on the mediums. I just wanted to it was the first race of the season. Don't
Okay.
do anything stupid.
No. Yeah.
Just let it go, and where you finish is where you finish. It's if you get the win, great. You can reflect on that and go where did it go well. If you don't,
Mm-hmm.
you go where did it go wrong. What can I improve?
Yeah.
Um, it's just circumstance that happened on the first lap. It's racing.
Yeah, that's racing, man. That's indeed true. Well, it's good that let's say, you played the long game, as you say. You started on the mediums, so you had nothing to lose at that moment because you didn't lose, any spot towards your starting position. So actually, this was still a positive thing.
Yeah.
Um, no, okay, interesting. Well, let's move on to the next video, which is the second part of lap one. And I'm sorry. I'm gonna start it again. If it's Yep, there we go. Yeah, this is lap one. I think this is turn um, 13,
It,
14,
it's 10-17.
17. Oh, wow, I was way off. Well, it's the U-turn, that's all I know. So yeah, just tell us what happens. I'll start the video.
So yeah, so this corner was catching a lot of people out during quali. It's a very deceptive corner. Basically, what happens is I obviously hit my braking point perfectly,
Yeah,
and Dan, all I see on the radar is a an arrow of a car just firing up the inside, and it ends up being Dan's, my
yeah,
season two teammate, and
that's
he
true.
nudges me wide, and takes the position. Now, in this moment in time, obviously with the Kev situation at the start of the lap, I was furious because not only was I caught up in that, again that's the way it happens, but then I
Hmm.
was almost then my race was almost completely ruined by someone coming behind, and almost taking me out. Um, I felt like Dan should have gave the place back,
Yeah.
um, because it wasn't the cleanest of moves.
No,
Um,
definitely not. No.
and when he did keep the place, I was really angry. But again, it's the first lap. There's no need to do anything stupid.
Hmm.
Just wait and see what happens. And later on, I get him, so it's all
Yeah,
good.
exactly. It's a long game. Yeah, now I think it's easier to reflect back on it because in the long game, definitely you've won, right? Started 11th, finished third. Um, so on that sense, yeah, there's nothing to be negative about. But indeed, if this would have finished completely different, for example, and you would have finished, let's say, 14th or something, I think you would reflect back on it, yeah, in a different way
Oh,
because those are the things that really set you off and caused all the issues, probably.
it was the one thing that I worked on over the break was controlling my sort of, I wouldn't say anger, but sort of my frustration.
Yeah.
Because if definitely, if I get frustrated whilst driving, I end up making more mistakes. So I just kept cool, tried to, just work through again the race, the strategy, and just don't worry about it, and I knew it'd eventually come to me. I just didn't realize how well it would.
No, man, it's indeed very important as a driver to keep your composure. None doesn't matter what happens, right? You just have to keep your head cool. And
Exactly.
no, we'll just show this on board of Dan's because we're not used to him making, let's say, those small
No,
mistakes, right?
it was a
He's
rare
such a good
mistake.
driver. Yeah. Um, so we'll just
But if you
start it.
if you watch, you can see he hits the brake just that slight bit later than Mermaid and gets onto the curb, and that's what sends him into me.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. It's not really a big one. It's just so easy to make, and it happens. So that's just the way that it works.
Yeah, he's actually going for a very, I wouldn't say opportunistic, but it is kind of a difficult move to make going on that
Yeah.
inside. He barely has any space, and then, as you say, he breaks just that tad later than you should. So it's really difficult to keep the car on the apex, of course.
I reckon on a later lap that would 100% worked and it would have been a brilliant overtake. The problem
Yeah,
was is because it was lap one, he
yeah.
had all the cars in front of him, and it just didn't work out.
No, sadly. Well, okay. So that lap one incident, yeah, set you off a little bit, but you kept your composure. And then this is lap two, I think. It's the same corner,
Yeah,
also turn
yeah, exact
17.
same corner. Yeah, a lap later, and I watched this unfold out in front of me, and again I thought, I've just survived lap one, and then I'm going to get involved in another incident, and
Yeah.
it's going to completely ruin my race.
Right.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, again, following Dan's hit the breaking point perfectly, and I see Crow hit Contrail, and it causes this concertina effect, which
Okay.
unfortunately spins Kev out as well. Um, Dan gets a bad run off the corner, which allows me to get the inside for here, and going too wide through here is not
Yeah.
not advised at all. So I don't know whether Dan felt like he was just letting me by for earlier and just sort of backed off, or he was just being safe himself. But yeah, it was a very opportunistic move considering what just occurred in
Yeah,
front of
it's
me.
Chrome Magner hits
Um,
Contrail, yeah, which
yeah.
caused the whole incident. Okay.
So I wanted to make sure that again I wasn't involved in that. So I was just trying to stay as wide as possible because I knew that
Hmm.
no one would be there being slow. So as long as you can go round people, you won't get involved in the incident at all.
No, that's true. You capitalized big time actually because you overtook then two positions. I think you overtook Kevin, who spun out, and then in the end, Dance, who had a bad exit.
Yeah,
So again, those two places you lost, let's say, and in the opening lap, you kind of got back again. Um, so that
yeah.
I guess that brightened up your race a little bit, and then really,
Yeah, after seeing that and after not being involved in it, it definitely I was like, right, let's go. We got two places
yeah,
back. We can do this.
head down, and yeah, no, great, great. Um, yeah, so then this is lap 10, so we've passed a couple of laps, I guess. It's also, this is the first or the second pit stop, I'm assuming.
This was my second pit stop.
This is
This
your second
was
pit stop, okay. So you went on the mediums in the very beginning, the very
yeah,
first stint, right? And then you went to softs, I assume, and now this is your
yeah,
second pit stop to softs.
yeah.
Okay, so this is lap 10, and you're just coming out of the pit lane, and
So
you,
I end up becoming out behind Crow,
yeah,
which now I knew he was on much older tires. I think he actually pits at the end of this lap.
okay.
Um, So I knew that I had to get in front of him in order to use my tires the most effectively. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, this track isn't really built for overtaking. So I was wondering where I was going to do it. He ran wide here, so I was thinking I could, dive up the inside, but he covered it off perfectly. I can't
Mm-hmm.
really argue with it. And then I thought maybe a dive into this corner, but I was too far
Too
back
far,
because
yeah.
that GTR is so strong in a straight line. However, he loses it slightly here, which gives me the opportunity to go up the inside. Um, I think there was the
It
minutest
was a small
touches,
touch, yeah,
unfortunately.
I think so.
But there wasn't it wasn't enough for me to deem it. It was more racing rather than an actual intentional hit to pass. And my screen actually during the race I didn't actually make contact. I made contact there, but on my screen I didn't make any contact during the race, so it
Yeah,
might have just been a lag difference because obviously he's in NA and I'm obviously over here in
Europe,
the
yeah,
UK, so it makes it different. And then Willie again is on used tires, so I knew I had to get past him in order to use the tires, and luckily through this long left hander, I could just
wow, yeah,
use the superior grip and just drive straight past him. And again, luckily through this corner, um, again right round the outside, nice and clean.
yeah,
He hasn't got the grip on the inside. I short shift up just to give myself the traction, and then I get past him.
nice. No, that's actually really nice. And what I'm fairly interested to see again is, well, this is Willie in the long left-hander, right? The deficit in grip you guys have,
Yeah,
like, look how much. I think it was like maybe half a second in between, and you just close that right up just in one corner.
yeah, it's just
Um,
one corner. Yeah.
yeah, so the tire wear is really, yeah, influencing, let's say, the driving very hard. Do you feel like tire wear might be too hard, or you think this the way it is now because it opens up a lot of strategies, right? Do you think it is too harsh, or what do you think?
I think it's very dependent on whether you're a pad player or you're a wheel player. I mean, I'm on the wheel, so it allows me to be able to, turn in a lot less sharp and put less wear on the
Yeah.
tires. Um, Personally, I like it. As you say, it brings up new strategy. It brings up you know, it's a new skill that someone can get good at. I know that you were very good at tire
Mm-hmm.
management yourself. So, it's another area that if you don't have outright pace, you can perfect the tires instead and allow yourself to use that in the strategy to get good on the race. Um, and it's definitely something that once the rules were released, it was something I worked on and checked on to make sure that
Yeah.
my tyre wear wasn't too extreme to the point I was losing places.
Okay, so there are a lot of preparation went into this season. As I hear, you really prepared, let's say, yeah, races and tire wear and stuff. So yeah, nice to see you
Yeah,
prepared that well. Okay. Um, so yeah, that's. I think we can go now to the final overtake of the race, right? It was really
yeah,
tight in that last couple of laps. and we were really following you on board as well on the broadcast. So I'll just go to the next video. Yeah, just talk us through it.
Yeah, so Beckham again is we came out. He came out a lap before me, so he had the undercut on me. But it also meant he had lap older tires.
Hmm.
So I was chasing him, for the final 2 or 3 laps. And on this lap, I managed to get close to him. So as we went through the S's, I knew if I pitched my nose in to have to run wide, and then that would compromise all of his runs through the S's. And it
Yeah.
meant that on the exit, I just had the better run and just went straight round, clean round the outside. I gave him space on the inside. Um, to obviously, I wouldn't never want to run him off the track. Um, never intentionally, at least. But yeah, I thought about diving up the inside on this first turn, but it's not an overtaking spot unless Beckham
No,
ran wide
really. No.
himself.
Yeah.
Um, so I just stayed on his bumper. I actually had to change down because he was going so slowly through the corner.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, so here I poke my nose in just to be like, "Hey, I'm here," which
Yeah.
means that Beckham gets the worst run through, and I
Yeah.
just jink back to cut back on the exit, and it gives, as I said, it gives me that run to be able to just brake later and go round the outside. It was a very good move from the both of us because. Through those high speed corners, it's really easy to, drift wide and push the other person off. But especially this late in the race, um, you know, you could say it was a, in quote marks, accident. But Beckham, you know, uh, uh, he valiantly held off this position
Couple of
for a
laps.
good
Yeah.
couple of laps. So I think he even knew that it was pointless to hold off anymore and to try and hold off Lemmy behind him instead.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I've got to give credit to him because, as I said, it's very easy to run wide and hit the guy on the outside off. So
Of course. Yeah.
um, it was great racing between the two of us.
Definitely, man. It was actually really good from the perspective, let's say, side. We were mentioning how good Beckham was defending, and I would say it was kind of inevitable that you overtook him in the end because I think that Citroen is better on tires. Um, Also, Becky is a bad player, so he eats those
Yeah,
tires
he
while
he was struggling.
he
He
was
was
really
struggling.
struggling. You could see. So I think it was inevitable, and you overtook him. But the way you did, and I'm just showing it here in third person as well. Yeah, you were on his ass for, as you said, many laps, and I think the pressure got to him in the end, man. Because of course, when you know there's a fast guy behind you, yeah, you get
Yeah,
nervous and all. And this part really intrigues me. You force him to take this other line, so you can take the line which gives you the better exit as well. That's really strategically, that's actually a very good move because you sat behind him for a couple of laps, right? You watch where he and his car was struggling, and then you just do this, right? Just playing on the
yeah.
outside, better grip. No, man, that was really a great move, and that might even be, a highlight in the end of the season of the best
Yeah.
overtaking moves. Um,
See, that's the thing. Like, I could say it's planned now, but it's one of those things that when you're racing, you just you don't actively think about it. You just do it. I was
yeah,
never gonna go too wide through those S's. It would have been pointless for the both of us, especially with Lemmy and Kobu
yeah,
so close,
indeed.
like behind us. We would have lost way too much time. So, like I said, just put him off. Just make it so he can't take the line he wants, and then get the better run. And that's what happened.
No, man, that's yeah, that's what they call race intuition, right? It's something you do naturally. No, but it's true, man. The way you've improved since start of season two, let's say. In season two, you had some good finishes. I think you had fourth once in a race and fifth on Butters as well.
Yeah.
Um, and then Team Arc and stuff. So, do you feel like you're going to improve much more, or is there some more potential to be unlocked, or you think you reached the cap now?
I don't think I'll ever reach a cap. I'll reach a cap once I go to a Gran Turismo World Tour event.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
That's when I'll be able to go. You know what? I might not improve now. I mean, there's always people who are going to be faster than me. I mean, Rono is still the king of the Discord and of the community.
Oof, oof.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna, be like, I'm coming for you, Rono, but it is definitely a case of, if I can get to his level,
Mm-hmm.
then I genuinely would be happy and proud.
Of
Um,
course. Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, he's the end goal at the end of the day. If
Okay.
if you get faster than him, then you should be winning every single race in existence.
Yeah. No, that's
Um,
true. Yeah.
I have to say that the first couple of races in season two were a big eye opener for me because I always thought I was quick and I knew I was decently fast, but I always thought
Mm-hmm.
that I would come into this community and not dominate but win races.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finished 11th after trying my hardest and bringing what I thought was everything out of the Aston. It was a big eye opener for me, and I knew I actually had to work for it.
Yeah.
And as you are seeing now, is that work paying off?
It's paying off indeed.
Um,
Yeah. It must be satisfying to see, yeah, how
oh,
much effort you
it
put in.
is. It's very satisfying. Even beating the season two champ in this race
Mm-hmm.
was very a big moment for me, and it's something that I will try and replicate as much as possible.
Okay, man, that's nice. Well, I'm just gonna ask you a final question. Yeah, you were talking about your teammates earlier before this recording. So your teammates are Tay Today, Jen Serino, Maddie, and then Chris F, which is Dance's brother. Isn't it
Yeah,
funny that in season two, yeah, Dance took you under his wings, right? Learned you the ropes and the lines and stuff. You got faster in the end, and now actually you're doing the same to Dance's brother, who is Chris F, right? So you're teaching him how to take
yeah.
some corners, and you're improving his time. Isn't that yeah funny to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not the best person to be learning off, but it's definitely uh it's definitely a roles reverse situation which I quite like. I hope I can, teach him uh everything that I know and stuff like that, and it'll allow him to get faster. I mean, I've already seen improvement from everyone in our team actually.
Mm-hmm.
We're pushing each other to get faster. Um I mean, me and Tay are very similar pace anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so having each other to, really, um, you know, as I said, push each other and make sure that we are not slacking at any point really helps the both of us,
Of
get
course.
faster, get
Yeah.
better, get more consistent. And
Yeah.
it also then, it allows the others to watch us and watch our lines and then ask questions. Um, I will send, you know, map layouts of the gears I'm using
Mm.
through all the corners. My braking points, I'll send them screenshots of what I'm looking at, my
Yeah.
references. So it really allows them to, understand what I'm thinking as I'm going through and driving, and it allows them to not necessarily replicate it, but definitely start to, see what I'm doing and maybe try to start, getting those quicker lap times. And if it, if they end up getting, lobbies higher and start improving massively, then
Mm-hmm.
that's all on them. That's all on them, to be honest.
Yeah.
They've taken what I've given them and they've done it. So, I'm really looking forward to see that those guys get quicker. Um, the Citroen's not an easy car to drive if you're not used to it. So, got to give him credit for this improvement and for this pace.
No, man, that's true. Well, now we're talking about your team. Actually, I still have some more questions.
No, it's fine.
The team is yeah, Tay, Maddie, Jens. They're all decent drivers, let's say, as you mentioned. Like Tay and Maddie are also on a high skill level. You feel like you might wrap up the constructors, yeah, title this season
Um,
with that layout.
we need to. I definitely think we need to get Tay into lobby A a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, it's the first race. He had a bad run up to the race, so he struggled in quali, and it unfortunately meant he was in lobby B. If we can get two Citroens consistently in lobby A, I
Mm-hmm.
genuinely think we have a big chance of that constructors. Because the thing is Matty himself, he's no slouch. And definitely for Lobby B, I reckon, he can get top half to podium and win finishes
Mm-hmm.
um, in Lobby B. So that already that's a massive load of points in
Of
in that
course.
in
Yeah.
those lobbies. So if me and Tay can, start moving up and getting even higher positions in Lobby A, that's a big haul of points. And then even then, Chris and Jens in Lobby C, you know, they're not back of the grid type situation. They are still quite decently
Competitive. Yeah.
placed in Lobby C. So if they can finish the best that they can finish, then there's no complaints. If we win it, we win it. If we
Of
don't,
course.
that's just the way it goes. At least we tried our best. Um,
No, that's
and
definitely true.
we can be
Yeah.
very proud of it. So
Definitely, man. The thing is, yeah, at least your teammates, let's say, show up, or most of them show up.
yeah,
I'm hoping they're, let's say, pretty standard drivers in ARC. We've seen some teams, whose drivers they don't regularly show up, which will cost them some points. You think that's also one of the strengths then in your team, that mostly everybody will show up for race day anyway. So maybe that's the key to that title.
yeah, definitely. I genuinely don't think or know of a time where one of us is not going to be able to make the race. I mean, Chris unfortunately couldn't make it last week,
Hmm.
but he said that that's going to be the only one that he misses. So
Okay.
um, yeah, for the rest of the season, you should be seeing five Citroens on the track.
Oof, better watch out for that Vagisil
Yeah, yeah,
sponsored car.
exactly.
No, man. All right. Can I ask you who made the delivery? Because of course it's a beautiful color palette, but who made it?
Yeah. So Jens came up with the idea. He wanted to. He saw it on one of the NASCARs and just thought it would work quite well, and it
Mm-hmm.
does. And then Tay managed to bring it into the game and into
Yeah.
life. And I tell you what, he spent a good couple of days on it.
Oh, really?
This
Okay.
this Citroen is not an easy car to make liveries for. So all credit to him. He's done a fantastic job with it. Um, and it's very good. I love the color scheme, anyways.
No,
So
it's great. Yeah, it
I love
stands
I
out.
love
All right, perfect, man. So one final question: how do you feel going forward to the next race, which is Sardinia B? I think you feel confident.
I wouldn't say confident. Again, my quali pace is at the moment compared to others. I wouldn't say it's particularly strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's definitely going to be something I struggle with. Um, However, in the race, I'm feeling, you know, confident that I can make up places. Probably get another podium. That's the goal if I qualify in Lobby A. There, podium's definitely what I'm setting my sights on. Um, so yeah, hopefully, again, I can have another charge to the grid and do well.
No, man. All right, that's awesome. Yeah, on that note, I think I'm gonna wrap it up for today. I'm gonna thank you, ARC Chili, for joining me in the very first episode. I hope you like it.
That's all right. It's good format. I'm looking forward to hearing other people's
To
views throughout the
seeing more of
season.
it. Yeah, hopefully more people are interested. Definitely let me know if you would be interested to do this, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah, so this was it for the very first race analysis podcast. Again, thanks to ARC Chile, and best of luck in the next race. If you liked it, like the video and leave a comment. So hopefully I can do this more often. And if you have any suggestions, you know where to find me in the Discord. Well, all right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you next week.